Well, hey there, everybody! I wanted to talk to you today about a pretty underrated Disney movie, Thumbelina. The story of a tiny woman born out of a flower, she wishes she could find someone her own size and meets the fairy prince, who is mesmerized by her singing voice. The two fall in love, but she gets kidnapped and goes through all kinds of situations with various beings infatuated by her. What Disney did here truly is remarkable. Hang on one second. Hello? Uh-huh. Right. Okay. It's not a Disney. That's odd, isn't it? Thumbelina always seemed like it was a Disney movie, right? Nice animation, beautiful songs, a future princess love story. This has all the ingredients. Well, there is someone else that did this sort of thing, and it wasn't Disney. Well, kind of. The creator of this film was former Disney animator and Mormon overlord Don Bluth, who made fantastic animated features throughout the 1980s like The Secret of Nim, An American Tail, and The Land Before Time. Disney was going through a weird time in the 80s. The theme parks were doing pretty well, but the movies they were releasing at the time didn't have the same touch like their earlier works. It wasn't until 1989 when they finally got their footing. Bluth continued to make films into the 90s, and while Disney was releasing hit after hit after hit, Bluth was coming with, yeesh. Yeah, his career after the 80s kinda took a nosedive, and in the middle of all these blunders was the story of Hans Christian Andersen's Thumbelina, but why talk about this one? Because it's what I do. Yeah, it's what I do. This seems to be one of the 90s Bluth films that people fondly remember, so I wanted to give it another go and see if it's as good as people have said. After rewatching it, I couldn't help but see the similarities between this and many Walt Disney animated features. Disney has made stories based on fairy tales decades prior, so I could see why many mistake it for being a Disney movie. For starters would be the animation. It is quite nice and Disney-esque. As I said, Bluth was at one time a Disney animator. He knew how to draw animated characters with a charm to them, as well as these gorgeous backgrounds, vibrant colors during the fun moments, and lightless and dismal during the sadder moments. The various scenes of flying is similar to that of Peter Pan. The farm scene is very reminiscent of Mary Poppins, and for some reason, the lighting of the house reminds me of Pinocchio. Bluth clearly took his knowledge of past Disney animation and used it for his solo projects. Yeah, I said solo projects. Bluth left the band and went on to make millions somewhere else. Where's the reunion with the Mormon Tabernacle? Speaking of choirs, how about the music? We all remember Disney music from the 90s. The Alan Menken songs from Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and Pocahontas, to songs made by already famous music acts like Elton John and Phil Collins. Bluth did the same thing and got a famous musician to compose songs for his film, this one being Barry Manilow?
The Copacabana.
Not now, Mom! Okay, I don't hate Barry Manilow or anything. Man, he's a nice song and all, but he's a little too cheesy for my taste. Plus, I laugh at the aspect of people crying when Looks Like We Made It is sung by him. Guess I'm not emotional enough to do that. Except with Cher. Being fair, Manilow did help write a Disney song prior to this, so he has experience, I guess? Some of his songs in this film are okay, and frankly cover all the bases for a Disney movie. The opening song, which sets the tone in Follow Your Heart, the exposition song in Thumbelina, and the connection love song in Let Me Be Your Wings. While those three songs work, many of the others don't. Your Beautiful Baby is a bizarre mix of a villain song and a Vegas lounge show, and Mary the Mole has got to be one of the worst climactic build-up songs I've ever heard. Remember Scar shooting up to the sky and Be Prepared, building up to this epic plan he has in store? We'll keep him on the ground and give him Carol Channing's voice. That's Mary the Mole.
Come here, young man. I'm gonna bop you one.
The last thing I'll talk about is the characters, and frankly, this is probably the most similar it gets to a Disney film, for various reasons. The first, obviously, are the roles. This film combines Disney Renaissance ideals with the old school fairy tale. You have a girl that dreams of being whisked away by her prince, the prince being absolutely in love with her at first sight, she gets kidnapped, the dashing prince must go and save her. Pretty standard stuff. We also have a narrator that plays a role in the actual story in Giacomo, who is a fine narrator, I think, and probably the most memorable character in the whole film, even more than Cornelius, Grundel, Beetle, Charo Toad, and Thumbelina herself. I also have to mention that the plot of a prince and others being infatuated by the female protagonist's voice was somewhat done just earlier with Disney's The Little Mermaid. While plenty of fairy tales have similar plots, it's interesting to note that the voice of Thumbelina is none other than Jodie Benson, the same exact voice of Ariel the mermaid. I've heard of typecasting, but that's just ridiculous. Hi, Jodie. Yes, I'm sure the Little Mermaid home release is going very well. Listen, I got a proposition for you. How would you like to be the star voice in my next film? Fairy tale story of people infatuated with a young woman's singing voice. Yes, I know you did this already, but this time you get to sing the songs of none other than Barry Manilow. Yes, I'm aware Under the Sea won an Oscar, but come on! Barry Manilow, he writes the songs that make the whole world sing, huh? What do you say? Hello? She'll go back. So after looking at all these similarities, is the film any good? Yeah, it's fine. It's not great. As I said, some of the songs are good, the animation is quite nice, it's a sweet little fairy tale that I think a kid would find great entertainment in with its charming characters and nice colors. But a timeless classic that adults could watch too? No. Not only can it not compete with the likes of Disney's fairy tale stories, Bluth himself has made much better features. The aspect of having so many similarities to other better films released prior is pretty apparent. Taking voice actors and putting them in similar roles is a little jarring, plus the songs that aren't good really stick out more than the decent ones. Not to mention the lack of memorable characters makes it not too high on my recommended list. I've seen much worse though. I say give it one viewing if you want, but rewatch value is in small supply. So those are my thoughts on Thumbelina, and tell me, have you seen this one? Did you like it when you were younger? Do you still like it now? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more nostalgia reviews, animation reviews, and anything else I can come up with. Now if you excuse me, I have to get started on my next video, but before I do, I have to make a call. No, not on this. Chanticleer! Chanticleer! Hey, shut up! Sorry.
The birds and the bees are flying in the trees. The sun's in the sky, just for you and I. The sky's perfect blue, no cloud could spoil the view. It's a sign from above that shows that we're in love.